The following video is made from recordings of many 8mm 3-minute cinema film shots made over 50 years ago of the Clarke family. I am now 74 years old and I've lodged this video with the Internet Archive in America, which you can freely access, along with several books, audio recordings, musical songs, articles, plays and other productions, all relating to the Clarke family. The opening footage is of our family, that is my mum, dad, my brother Michael, and we are driving home to our house in 149 Coachway, Garston, Watford, after returning for a visit to my grandfather in Oldham, Lancashire in 1959. My brother and I were about 10 or 12 years old at the time, Michael being the older brother, born in 1946, so this video is over 60 years old. One of the opening shots is in the back garden of a home in Coachway, Garston, and it is Michael, my brother, giving my sister Margaret an ice cream. We then go on to the village fete in Wilstone, on the village green, where we moved as a family in 1960. We moved to the village shop, which was opposite the Half Moon pub in Wilstone, where Vanessa Isley used to work. This village and the shop gets a mention in our short play Borstal Boy, and tells of our times in Garston and those days, which can be viewed at the Internet Archive. Here is a picture of my mum being interviewed by the Bucks Herald news reporter, at which time it was reported there were 400 residents in the village. And then we'll take a trip and go to the canal, which is not too far away from where we lived. There's the canal, all frozen up. I'm sure it must have been about 1962, the Great Freeze. And here we are again in Oldham with my granddad, my dad and me. I was about 11 or 12 years old. And there's my mum and Margaret. Can you tell me how old Margaret is? And here's Michael at 16 on his 250cc Beezer. That gets a mention in our play Borstal Boys. Watch it. And here we are on our family holiday at Rockley Sands down in Dorset. This unfortunately is where I stole my dad's car, the Ford Traveller, but my dad caught me. I write about that in Converted on LSD Trip. Have a read. And there's our Morris Traveller, the car I took for a joyride and got caught by my dad. Here again is Mum and Margaret. Look how slim my mum was. My father was Thomas George Clarke, and my mother was Elsie Dyson Clarke, formerly Ormrod. My brother Michael, John Clarke, was born on the 16th of September 1947, and myself, David Clarke, born 16th of February 1949, and my sister Margaret, who is much younger than us. There's Mum and Margaret, and in a minute we'll see my dad running with Margaret. See if you can see if he looks like Michael and I, or do we look like my dad? There he is. And here we're on our family holiday at Pegwell Bay in Ramsgate. And this is a nice holiday camp called Pegwell Bay. There's my dad swimming. There's Margaret and Dad and Mum. There's Mum, she's a good diver. And there's B, running. And there, here we are with one of the lads. I must have been 14 or 15. We go and start to cause trouble now. Look what we do. We don't we have to disturb the peace. Just watch what we do. Instead of diving in, we cause a great big splash. We get told off, of course. And there's me with the posing hat, 15-year-old I think I must have been. There was another lad with the same hat too. So we pose, and there's my funny hat. What do you think? I still wear hats today. There's my mum. Your grandma. And finally we come up to the infamous bubble car. Here it is. There's me, bringing Grandad home after going to buy a bottle of wine. And then I'm going off, I think, to the party. You wait and see. There. Now, you read all about that bubble car in our book. Now, let me know when you watch the video and tell me what you think. And now I would like you to watch the next video in this series dealing with the decline in moral values since I remember from 1970.